So speaking of these deals, how do y'all? I'm gonna start looking back at the chat again because I do want to ask a question about Young Thug, and I really want to get y'all feedback before I give my opinion on it. But before I even get to the main point that I want to raise in this YSL shit, what's up with Gunna? Do y'all now feel, now you see all these people taking pleas under these different circumstances and admitting to all these things about YSL? Are y'all labeling Gunna a snitch? Did Gunna break the code? Did Gunna fuck over Young Thug? That's what I'm asking at this point. I seen a lot of shit when Gunna took his plea. Oh nah, Young Thug probably told him to do that. It was probably just a play. It's probably this. Okay, your boy Scorpio says he's not a snitch. Keep it up in the chat. I want to know if y'all are saying Gunna is a snitch now. Did Gunna tell? Did Gunna tell? We saw the video of the prosecution reading off questions and he's answering them. Is YSL a gang? I'm going to paraphrase. Is it a criminal organization? Yeah. Yes, ma'am. But did this happen? Yes, ma'am. Is he a snitch? Gunna did snitch. Same as those people who took the deal, but I have no issue with him taking that deal because it's beyond reasonable doubt that YSL is a gang and it's toxic. Okay. So I read one, shout out to Ghost. I read one snitch and one not snitch. Elgin Tienes or Tines, Mega rap. Meg's not a rap. Meg's not a street person that I know of. It's to my knowledge. She don't live no street life. She's not running around running in some criminal activity and then she got in a situation and she spoke. She's a civilian that supposedly got shot, allegedly got shot. Meg's not a snitch. Gunna did tell. Another one from Elgin. Emotional people in the chat. Emotional what about the Tory shit? I'm not reading all the chat, but I'm catching some of y'all shit. He was on Crime Stop and snitching before. That's now snitching. It was people versus Daystar, not Meg. Oh, y'all still on the Meg topic. I ain't mad, y'all. Not a snitch, but he's a trump card that can be used to take down Young Thug. That's Leone, if I'm pronouncing your name right. Telling, snitching. I use the words interchangeably, okay? Gunna told. Do you look at the level of telling lesser than somebody that took the stand and said he did it? You probably do, and that's fine. That's human nature. But what he did is telling. What he did is telling. And all the other pleas as well. That shit, yo, Thug is I think he's in a lot of trouble. I don't wish it on nobody. I'm not personally invested in this one. I did get a little bit personally invested in the Meg Tory shit. I'm not personally invested in this one at all. I don't have none of that energy towards this YSL. I'm watching this trial pan out from just being interested in it. You know what I'm saying? But it's telling. It's telling. There's no way to dice. One of the last ones from, what was the dude's name? That took a plea recently. Shit. One of the last ones was answering, isn't it answering that he did receive green light from Thug as far as the shooting and shit? The pleas that these people are taking are totally all compounding what you're going to be able to present to that jury during trial against Young Thug. All of it. These become, they don't even have to take, even if they don't get called as witnesses. I feel like these guilty pleas and these statements that these people are making and these yes answers that they're giving to the court that are being put down as official record in this whole case, it's all saying that somebody died. You was a part of it. You got a text message. You got a phone call. You was in the car. You were part of a gang. Y'all are all admitting to it. Meanwhile, this guy's the king that they're really going after, King Slime, is sitting up there like, it's just a record label. I don't know what y'all talking about. Everybody's contradicting that and taking pleas. Everybody's contradicting. Nobody's saying like, listen, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. No plea deal. And I'm not trying to say that every plea deal is telling, because you could plead out on yourself. You know what I'm saying? You could say, look, there was one car, two people, one gun. I'm claiming a gun. I'm pleading out. What you could plea out. Not every plea deal is telling or snitching, but they are clearly implicating Young Thug as the top guy, and if he's being already painted as the top guy of what? A record label? No, a criminal organization. Hence RICO is why y'all all got grabbed at once. And people, I think RICO is even getting a little watered down. I think people heard RICO and just think that everybody's about to serve life. Even that is seeming extremely tactical at this point. People were saying like, oh no, the gunner never really did nothing. He gonna get off. Why do you keep getting denied bond? He got denied bond like 4 times. Now we're starting to understand. These people ain't stupid. Why does everybody think that the feds and law enforcement and cops are stupid? Like there's geniuses. There's some geniuses that work in there, man. Some motherfuckers that was built for this shit. Go grab up all these motherfuckers, make them sit down and live this ugly ass life, losing your freedom after running around being this rich, famous, having this wonderful life, achieving all this success that you've gained, and then sit your ass in some dirty ass cell for fucking 8 months. And then let you determine how much you really want this life. You don't want it, do you? I'll give you a taste of it. You don't want this, do you? You hear all the talk. You hear about RICO. You hear that what you're possibly facing. You hear that you can get some. You don't want this, do you? All right, we'll let you out based on this guilty plea, this type of plea that you can take that says, yes, it's a criminal organization. Yes, I was in the car. Yes, I sent that text. Yes, I was on the phone. Yes, I know who that is. That's King Slime. Those are the terms. Those are the terms. Get out of here. We didn't want you anyway. They didn't want to let them go. They want to let them go. They denying all these niggas bonds for a reason. They ain't have to let them go. They ain't have to offer them shit. Not everybody. There's like 20 plus of these niggas, right? Not everybody's going to get offered a plea. Not everybody. The people that they feel have the information that they want, that they don't really need to put in jail for years. Hey, you want this? Yeah, we need that. Good looking out. Go ahead. Go outside. It's not telling. Gunna gave them something. That's why he's out. Yeah, we saw the video. What he gave him. We saw the video. I'm not personally invested. It's like people saying that is, yo. And I know everybody wants to do that. If I was in those shoes, I would this. I don't want to ever come off like that person. I don't want y'all to look at me like, yo, I don't want to be looked at like that. But I know that if I was in that situation and you came to me and you asked me that under your deal terms, under your plea bargain, if you answer yes, we're going to let you out, I know that I would be hurting my man. You got to know that. No? For pretending to be thugs. Did you already discuss Kid Slade's situation? Me and Jim's got 2 blogs that's on the channel talking about Kid Slade's situation. Check those out in the chat. Check those out. And it's so crazy about the Kid Slade videos that we shot is because it was before his 15 minutes of fame shit came out. So the first part, I'm talking about just my general opinions on it. Me and Jim's is going back and forth on it. And then in the second part, we're talking about, will he battle again? And it's wild to see some of the reaction and the feedback after his 15 minutes of fame shit dropped. It's like we damn near predicted it. Me and Jim's on the shit. Go check that out on the channel. I'm going to answer that question about where the battle's at after this. I'm not going to switch topics right now, but shout out to people asking for the battles. Closure battles and announcements and all that. I'll answer that after this. ARP a blogger now in 2023. ARP's been a blogger since 2011. I hope you know your history. I enjoy blogging Probably more than hosting battles. um, all right, but it's telling. So here's the question that I want to get to. Um, and here's something that I don't really know how this works. So I'll leave this here and I'll ask y'all in the chat and I'll ask y'all to leave comments if you see this later on. I'm looking for y'all feedback, y'all expertise on this. If there's any legal experts out there, any lawyers that watch this video or watch the channel, anything like that, I'm just curious. Or if you just happen to have the knowledge. When things are taken from the record or when evidence is already put out there and then removed from it being able to be used at trial, how does that play? For example, now we're sticking on this YSL shit. So you got this thing with the phone of Young Thug, right? And the text messages and the shit that might be in there. And also the car, right? That he supposedly rented that was used when the person that got killed, um, when that hit was allegedly ordered. It was a car that they're saying Young Thug was the one. His name was on the rental. He wasn't in the car, but he's the boss. He's sending the hits allegedly, right? When they come out and they say like, yo, that car information and all that type of stuff, it was before um the indictment came down on that type of stuff. So we would like that evidence removed. Or when you say like, yo, the text message in this phone is what time you're gonna go kill XYZ, yada 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 yada. But then the phone gets to get tossed out of evidence as far as trial. How does that play? When you're able to already put it out there, right? Because the jurors are human. When they already have this knowledge, even if you say like this cannot be presented now as evidence at trial, but the jurors already have the information. How does that work? What what sense does it really? How does it really change the outcome for the defense? Is it that okay, now when anybody's on the stand, I can't bring up the cell phone, or I can't talk about the car rental and show you the paperwork with Young Thug's government name on the rental, and is it that? You know what I'm saying? Because what does that matter if when the jurors have to go in the back and deliberate and they sitting there and they say, oh, but remember his name was on that form for the rental, or yo, that text message, even if it was removed from the evidence or not, right? Like, how does that change it? And then even for the judge, let's say the jurors come back and they say guilty, and then you come back for sentencing, and then at that point the judge gets to determine, am I going to be lenient? Is this a first time offense? Am I going to give this person probation within the bounds of the charges, right? Because every charge keeps certain types of penalties or whatever. And then the judge gets to decide on that. Am I going to max them out and say, you want to know what? I'm invoking life because this whole time you sat here, you showed no remorse and you ice grilled the family and you laughed and you showed, you didn't even show up in a suit. You showed no respect to the court. So you want to know what? I already know you're a danger to society. Life. The judge still knows this stuff too. The evidence was thrown out, okay, but in the judge's mind, when he's making those decisions of what your term is going to be based on a guilty verdict, and like I said, even the jurors being in the back deliberating, going over like, yo, so how you feel? How does it really matter when that evidence gets tossed, when it's already public information at that point? How does that work? It has to be disregarded. I just read a piece of one of the comments that said it has to be disregarded. So let me ask you this: when you say it has to be disregarded, damn, what movie was that? Somebody did that in the court, and he jumped out and said a bunch of wild shit just to make sure that the jurors could hear it, and then I think the prosecution jumped up, sustain, or what, and even the judge said, we're going to strike that from the record, but at that point it's too late. The jurors was like, right. I'm very, very curious to that. How does that work? What does that even matter at that point? The evidence is inadmissible because it will prejudice the jurors against the defendant. So the jury can only consider scroll too fast. Is Thug next? Yes, it sucks to say. How does that play? I don't understand. If it was me in them shoes, I'm just like, yo, whether it's submitted at trial for evidence or not, it's fucked. The fact that y'all already put out here that it's a fact that my name was on the rental for this car that was used in the murder. Because these jurors are human. The judge is human. They're not just gonna, they don't just strike that from their memory. They're not computers where you could just hit delete and it's not there no more. Like, I don't get it. I see y'all arguing in the chat. Oh man. Human nature definitely kicks in, but they are not supposed to consider the sustained evidence. They are not supposed to consider it. But human nature kicks in. That becomes, to me, a loophole. That becomes the contradiction right there.